Hello and welcome. My name is Avinash. In this video, I will explain how to create tables and insert or load data in those tables. The prerequisite is you need to have Snowflake account in place. If you do not have Snowflake account created already for you, please watch my video on creating free Snowflake account and create account, and then you can come back to this video and you can continue. The good thing about Snowflake is that it doesn't ask for credit or debit card details while creating the account like other platforms. Considering that your Snowflake account is ready, let's go ahead and continue to create table and insert records in those tables and play with the tables. As your account is ready, you must be having a URL to access it. Uh, Let me show you the URL. So the URL is something like this. So the initial part, whatever I have selected, this is the account identifier, which is unique to every account. After that, the selected part now, this is the region that you had selected while creating the Snowflake account. Now here AWS is the cloud platform that I had selected while creating the Snowflake account. Now, as you have the URL, you can straight away put this URL into a browser and you can hit enter, so that it will ask for username and credential while logging. Let me put my username and password. Click sign in. Now you will get this window, or you may get directly the worksheet window. Go to worksheet window, you can click the classic console. So this will this may again ask you to enter credentials. Let me put it. It will take a couple of seconds. Okay, now this is the window that we will be using throughout this course. Here we will be mostly using the worksheets and databases, these two tabs. Inside worksheets, you can find that here there is a plus button wherein you can add multiple worksheets as per your requirement. And inside databases, you can see the databases that are already available. And if you select database, you can see the tables which are created inside the database. Now let's go back to worksheets. Now here we will be writing the Snowflake SQL queries to create table and to play with the data. Before we create tables, let's try to understand which all tables we are going to create and what kind of data we're going to store in those tables. Now to understand that, I have specifically created one data set, college data set, wherein we will be having 5 tables and we'll be inserting records in those tables and we'll be using those tables for the course. In this video description of this video, you will find one GitHub link. If you open that, this is the GitHub link that you'll find in the video description. Here, let me open the README. So as the description says, this file the dataset, the repository contains some files wherein there are 2 SQL files. So the first SQL file, that is create tables, it contains SQL queries to create tables for like teachers, marks, department, DPT, and subjects. Now there is a second SQL file which is specifically to create table student and insert record into those tables. And we also have some CSV files which actually contains data. So while creating table, we will be creating empty tables, teachers, marks, DEPT, student. Then we will create student table and we will insert record by using insert query. Now to insert records into these 4 tables, we will be using the Snowflake WebUI. So I'll show you that. Okay, so before that, we need to have the whole repository in your on your system. So go ahead and download it. You have to extract it. So this is the extracted folder. Now to understand which all tables we are going to create and which all fields are there in those tables, let's open this PNG. So it contains the details related to tables and which all fields will be there. So as I told you before some time, there will be 5 tables: students, subjects, marks, teachers, and DAPT. Now inside students table, we will be having all these fields. Inside subjects, we'll be having subject underscore ID, subject underscore name, professor underscore ID, total underscore marks. Like this, each and every table is having the fields name that will be there in those tables. Now, if you look at the colors, the student ID, again, project underscore partners underscore ID, and then inside marks table under again student underscore ID, these columns are marked in the yellow color. So wherever you see the similar color, those columns or those fields are related from all the tables. Now from students table, student ID, partner underscore project underscore partner underscore ID, and student ID from the marks table, these fields are related. Again, uh, the field that is subject underscore ID from subjects and marks, these two fields are related. So that is how these two tables are connected. So that way, similar way, these tables are connected. So you can just look at the colors given to each and every field, and that is how these fields or these tables are connected. Now let's open each and every SQL file, SQL and CSV file, just to understand what is there inside that file. Now this is the file to create tables. So initially we will be creating database. So if the database is not there, then this statement will create. So the syntax is like create database, then followed by database name. You can also add if not exist. So what will happen is, if the database is already created, then it will check if it is already there, then it will just simply show you that the database already exists. If you do not include this part, if you do not include if not exist, and if the database is already there, then it will give you error. So that is why it's always good to add this if not exist in your query. So this statement will create dev underscore db database. Then line number 5 will create a schema inside that dev underscore db. The schema name is college underscore data. So the syntax is create schema followed by the schema name. Then these statements are there to use the database, then followed by database name. Line number 8 is to use the schema that we have created. Then these statements from line number 10 to 13, though these statements will drop table if there is already there, as we are checking if the tables are there. So even if the tables are not there, or if the tables are there, it will not give you any error. After that, starting from line number 16 to line number 22, these are the SQL queries to create tables. Now inside the teachers table, we have some fields. Now this is the field name, professor underscore ID. Now this is the data type of that field. So the data type is number. Now professor name, this field is having some string value, so there will be some characters. So I have given the data type as varchar, and inside the parenthesis I have mentioned the number of characters that it may contain at max. Then again degree, this is again a string value, so varchar. department name, this will be a number. Inside marks table, we have student ID, then subject ID, and then object obtained marks. Inside DPT table, we have DPT ID, then DPT underscore name, and then head of the department. Inside subjects, we have subject underscore ID, subject underscore name, professor underscore ID, then total underscore marks. So let's go ahead and create these tables. Just select it and execute it. So all the statements will be executed. Now, as I have executed everything, let me remove it. Let's go back to our data set repository files that we have downloaded. Now let's open the student underscore SQL file. So here again, we have some statement to create the database, and it will create if the database is not there. Now the DB is already created, so it will just check if it is if it is already there. If it is already there, it will it will just give you message that the database is already there, but it will not give you any error. Again, we will be creating the schema colon underscore data if it is not already created by using this statement. Now we will be needing one more schema, that is staging. So for students specifically, students table, what we will do is we will create the table inside staging schema. We will load the data. We will load the data by using insert query that is mentioned from line number 22. So the data, let me talk about fields first so that will be clear. So the fields are student ID, student name, student. So this is the student first name, then student last name, then city, state, then we have department ID, then we have project partner ID, then we have gender. This is the date of birth. Then we have hobbies, and after that we have email ID. So students may have multiple hobbies, and some students have given more than one email ID. So their primary email ID is the must. Then secondary email ID is optional. So some students have given secondary email ID as well. So hobbies and email, these two fields are having complex data types. So the hobbies is array, so that is like more than one hobby, and email inside email ID again we have more than one email ID in some of the cases, not each and every. So what we will do is we will create students table in staging schema. We will insert all these records. Then so while inserting, we will be inserting the hobbies and email ID as a string, and while creating the main table into college underscore data, we will be treating them as the fields as array data type, and array data type for hobbies and variant data type for the email. So by looking at the query, you can understand while creating the staging table, we are giving data type as string for both the fields, hobbies and email ID. But for the main table that we are going to create underscore college data schema, we are having data type as array for hobbies and variant for the email. Then these are the insert query statements that will basically help us to insert data into those into the students table that from the staging schema. There are 77 students, so you will find 77 value clauses, records. Now the line number 102 will help us to just see some records from the table. After that, we will be inserting data from a students table from the staging schema into students table from the college data schema. So it is like selecting records from the staging dot students and inserting into college data dot students. And while inserting, we will be treating them as like hobbies will be converted into array. So we are using a function that is strtok underscore to underscore array, and we'll be converting hobbies field into array. And we will be passing the email field by using pass underscore JSON method. And finally, we will be having data into our main table, that is college data underscore students. Now let me go ahead and execute these statements, SQL queries, so that we will have students table ready, and we will also have data in place. Okay, so we have created the students table, and this is the data that we are having. Now let me show you data from both the tables, that is student from staging schema and students table from college data schema. Staging and college data. So if I execute this, you can see that the columns hobbies and email, these are having string values. But if you select data from the college data schema, you will find that the same column values are converted into now this hobbies field is containing the array values, and inside the email you have the key value pair, that is here the key is primary, and then this is the value. Again, this student has given secondary email ID as well, so the value again here is, sorry, the key here is secondary, and the value is secondary email ID. Now while you create table and while you load data, you can, same thing can be done by using from the databases tab. So we have created the devdb. Let me click on that. Now this is where you can see all the tables that are there under devdb. Now we have loaded data into students table, so you can also find out the row count and the size, actual data size that is there in the table. The student, okay, second row is for the staging database, staging schema. And after that, we had created 4 tables, that is 2 subjects, TPT, marks, and teachers, wherein we have not loaded anything as of now. So we cannot see anything under the rows. Now to insert records into those 4 tables, that is subjects, DPT, marks, and teachers, we have files, we have CSV files, we have data already there. So we will use the WebUI to load data into those tables. Now to load data, we have to basically create a file format while loading data into Snowflake. So let's go to File Formats tab. Here we have to okay, now inside the CSV files we have the delimiter, that is comma. So let me show that. So let me open the TEPT. Let me open it in the notepad. So here the fields are separated by using comma. So we have to create a file format on the Snowflake while that will be used while loading the data. So click on create. Here you have to specify the file format. That let me show comma separated. So we are going to create it under college data schema. File format is CSV. Compression method auto. Again, column separated is comma. If you have something else, you can specify that here. If you have a file containing a separator as tab, then you have to select the tab. As we have comma, so I'm keeping it as comma. And again, if you have headers in the file, like this is the header, so this is nothing but the field names for the columns. So you have to mention accordingly. If your data contains first line as fields, you have to put 1, so that while loading data, it will consider first line as the header. After that, you can rest part can be kept same. Then click on finish. So as soon as you click finish, it will create a file format that is based on whatever name you have provided. I have given comma, so the file format is ready with the comma name. Now let's go back to tables. Now we will be loading data into students table. So click on students. Here you will get option that is load table. Now don't worry about the warehouse here because it will be automatically created for you. Click next. Now here you have to select the file from your computer. I had downloaded file into my downloads folder. So let me select that. I'm going to load subjects. Okay. So let me open this, select the subjects file. Click next. Now here you have to select the file format that that we have created. As of now, I have only one file format created. So by default, it is selecting that. Let's go ahead and select next. Now here you have some option like while loading data, if there is an error, what should happen? So in that to understand, to specify those options, this load options is there. So if you do not load any data in the file, if there is an error, then you can select the first option. Now I want clean load. So what I'm doing is stop load. I'm selecting stop loading, roll back and return the error. So if there is an error while loading data, it will not load anything. It will give me give me the error that it occurred. Now let's click on load. Okay, now column. Now there was a error while loading data. So it has given me the error. Now error is unable to copy files to table. Number of columns in file 10 does not match. That is one, table 4. Okay, let me try again. I think I had selected wrong file. Subjects. Oh, sorry. I had selected wrong file. Now let me go ahead and select the subjects. Subjects. Open. Next. Next. Load. Okay, now okay, earlier I was selecting wrong file, so the field count was not matching. That was the error. So while loading, right now I had selected the correct file, so the file loading operation is successful. Now let's go back to another table and load data into that table. Now we just loaded data into subjects, so you can see the row count in the here for the subjects table. Now let's go ahead for DEPT. So similarly, you can load data into all the tables. This is DEPT CSV. Next, we directly click load. Okay, this is again successful. Let's go to marks, load table. Next, select files, marks.csv. Next, load. This is successful. Okay. Now we are left with one table, that is teachers. Click on load table. Next, select files, browse your folder structure, teachers.select teachers.csv. Next, load. Okay, now we have successfully loaded data into all 5 tables. You can see the row count here. We'll go to worksheets and we'll just see data into all the 5 tables. Same thing can be done by using now. This is the database that we have created. This is the schema that we had created, college data. Here under tables, you can see all the tables. Now, if you select DEPT, here you will get the option to preview data, view details, and place name in SQL. If you select place name in SQL, it will place database name, schema name, and the table name inside your worksheet editor. Let's click on preview data. It will help us to see data without even executing any query. So this is the DEPT. This is students. Let me open it for teachers. The teachers, place name in SQL, and here we can just select start from. At the end, we will just put limit so that it will not show each and every record. Okay, so this is the data from the teachers table. So okay, so I think we are done. We have created 5 tables and we have successfully loaded data into all the 5 tables. That was the purpose for this video. In next video, I'll continue with select query. So we'll be using select query to query data from the tables. Okay, that's it. If you have any queries while creating tables and loading data into those tables, please let me know in the comment section. Thank you.